Hi everyone. You are probably going to be hearing the faint sound of drumming. Shane and Vincent are in the basement right now playing drums, so I thought I would just take a few moments and make a video, just talk about a few things, and also talk about the start of my monthly deck challenge, which we're getting into a little bit late in November, but we'll just go from the middle of November to the middle of December. So it will kind of end nicely for those of us who are involved in various holiday gatherings and things like that towards the end of December. So by finishing mid-December, this will kind of give you some time and a pause for reflection before the traditional New Year starts in January. So I think it's actually going to work really well, and I'm excited to step back into a really good yummy deck challenge. I haven't done one in a little while. So first of all, I just wanted to say to everyone, thank you all for the love and the kind energy that you've all sent to my family. As many of you know, Tallulah passed away last month, and so that's our Chihuahua, who we love very dearly, and she also, Tarot Reviews of Tallulah is named for her. So we miss her greatly, and she taught us so many powerful lessons in her life, and even in her passing, she was lovingly teaching us a very powerful lesson, and we know that she's still with us, sending us messages and beautiful signs quite often, actually. So I wanted to say thank you for that. I don't think I've really been able to address that since then, so we do truly appreciate all the love and the energy and the memories that you've all shared too, that you've had in watching Tallulah in various videos over the years. So she is deeply missed, but still very much present, just in an energetic way now, not a physical way as well. So yeah, so I wanted to talk about a few things in this video. So depending on how long the boys play drums, we'll see how far we go in the video. First of all, someone had asked me recently, how do you own so many decks and actually use all your decks? So for instance, in the autumn video I did on decks that I plan on using this autumn, someone had said, you had so many decks in that review, how do you actually use them all? So my answer might be, also, I'm sorry for the lighting, guys. I'm upstairs, but this is as good as it's going to get. So my answer is going to be a little bit different than maybe other people's will be. So for some people, 1 or 2, maybe 3 decks is really what they feel comfortable with and what they're actually able to use. And you know what I'm always going to say, which is always do what feels best for you. But there, that feels a little bit better for me. But for me, I find that because first of all, I do collect decks. I'm, obviously. But I also read for other people quite a bit. So I actually use decks a lot just in my daily life. So I do a daily draw on my Facebook page pretty much every day, as often as I can, and I will use a deck for that. I also, in the morning, I have an intention of, and most days make it, of having a deck that I will draw a card and do some journal work or some meditation work with. And that is separate to the daily draw on Facebook. The daily draw on Facebook for me is more of a universal energy. The deck that I use for my personal work is for my own personal journey. So on any given day, I'm already using 2 decks anyhow. If I see clients in person or online in the evening, I will be using anywhere from 2 to 4 decks, depending on the client and the decks that want to come forward. Because for my clients, I do choose decks intuitively. I don't only use 1 deck for readings, although I do use Tarot of Vampires quite a bit. And I also don't offer for my clients to choose their own decks. I am just the type of reader that prefers to check in before a session and am often all the time really told what decks should be used for the person. And it might be a deck that that person really doesn't want to look at. And usually there's a very good reason why that deck's ending up there in the reading. So I use a lot of decks on any given day anyhow, and that has nothing to do with if Shane, my husband, and I, if we do a draw together at night, we'll use a different deck for that. We're really loving the Lover's Oracle right now by Tony Carmine Salerno. By the way, if you are in a relationship, it's a really great deck to use together as a couple that doesn't have a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of meat, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just a simple, beautiful deck that really can start a conversation between two people who are in a relationship together. So it's a really great deck for couples. But so we'll use a different deck if we're going to do a draw together at night. And if I am doing any personal work also at the end of the day, or even throughout the day, I will be using different decks for that too. And because I keep my decks out so that they can breathe, I constantly, there are decks around me, and so I can just grab a deck. And even at Made on Earth, where I work during the week, I have decks out there too, because we have you probably saw it in the last video, we have a kind of an altar space in the center of the room, and there are 3 to 5 decks out on that space that people can look at. But I also will, go over there during the day if I need to, or if I'm talking to someone and something comes up and it feels like it's really the next, not the next best space, but like where we should go in the conversation is to draw a card or something like that. So I'm constantly working with cards, using cards, and so it's very easy for me to say for the next 2 months there are 13 decks that I really, really want to spend a lot of time with. And it is actually feasible for me to do that. So what I would say to you is, if you are someone who has access to your decks throughout the day, or if you're someone who enjoys kind of bringing in different energy with different decks, throughout the day, then you can actually plan on and set an intention of working with 13 decks in a 2 to 3 month period and really, really actually sink your teeth into the decks and get to do it. So that's how I'm able to use so many decks. And that's why I have so many decks on my favorite deck lists throughout the year, because I am actually using all of those decks. Again, this approach doesn't work for everyone. For some people, 1 to 3 decks is a much better approach. And, I've recently really been feeling and finding for myself as well, 2015 has been a very... I'll say the word difficult year for me and for a lot of people in my life. Like, powerful things have happened, but there's been a lot of shadow that's come in with the power that it's important to look at and confront and address and lovingly bring back into balance. So I have really been feeling right now that I am wanting to actually bring down my deck collection by quite an extensive number. That being said, there are probably 30 to 40, maybe even 50 decks that I'm always going to have. Because I am, number one, a collector, and I love decks. I love the artwork. I love the connection and the sense of intuition that rises up for me when I work with a deck. And it's just kind of this sacred, hallowed ground that ends up happening when I hold the deck in my hands. So I will still have many decks, and I will still be buying decks. But for me, I think I'm ready now to kind of release a lot of decks that I've purchased throughout the years that, even though they're beautiful and I love them, I just don't connect with as deeply. It's like the connection I have with the Fallen Angels Oracle or the Tarot of Vampires deck or the Mary L. Tarot or, oh my God, the list goes on. But those relationships are super powerful. And so to have a deck around that I don't feel that energetic connection to at that level, to me at this point in my life, just doesn't feel quite right. And so because there are so many people out there who, number one, don't work at a boutique where they can purchase decks as easily as I can, and also who don't read professionally, who are reading for themselves, who would really like to explore some decks that maybe they're not able to for various reasons. So I am going to be doing a giant, and I do literally mean giant deck giveaway. Like at this moment, I have almost 30 decks put aside to gift to the tarot community. And so you'll be seeing pretty soon. I'm almost at 2,000 Facebook followers. So once I get there, I think I'm going to do that as my giant 2,000 follower giveaway. It will be multiple decks going out to different people, and they will have themes. So if you are someone who's looking to explore the Fae, there will be a gift set for that. If you're someone who's looking to explore the shadow work, there will be a gift set for that. If you're someone who's looking to explore the chakra system, there'll be a gift set for that. So I'm going to do it in a really fun way, this giveaway, and I'm very excited about it, and it's something that's like been brewing here for the last few weeks. So yeah, so that's going to be happening. I'm going to be giving away a large amount of my collection because, yeah, I love decks, but there really are only so many decks you can work with in a day. However, for me, I can work with 5 to 7 decks a day throughout my day, and really have a meaningful relationship with those decks throughout the day. And so I would say to you, that's how I work with so many decks, is because I'm always using them and I'm always connecting with them, even if not physically, energetically. They are landscapes and individual energies. That's how I perceive the tarot decks and the oracle decks that I work with. And so I can step into that landscape or their energies very powerfully throughout the day without actually physically having to touch the deck. And that's the beauty of actually really working with your decks, is actually spending time with them in a very powerful way. And so for me, just at the point where I am in my life with the work that I do, the decks that I do not connect with that way, I am not going to be holding on to any longer. Sometimes we can get into that space where it's like, well, I bought this deck, I spent $20 on this deck, and I'm going to get to know it eventually. And so now I'm kind of saying, okay, it's been 2 years. I don't think I'm going to get to know that deck. It's like I can have a night with the Fallen Angels Oracle, or a night with the Shaman Oracle, and I'm probably going to choose a night with the Fallen Angels Oracle. So it's just about getting real about that for me right now, but I hope that helps you to answer that question as far as how do you spend so much time with so many different decks. It's because I am a reader, professionally, we'll say. So I do readings for people with many different decks, and I use decks throughout my day. They're an intrinsic part of my spiritual practice. And when I don't start my day with my decks, I'm not as grounded as I like to be throughout the day. They're very powerful. We could say, are they powerful because I choose to believe that they are? Sure, but it's a beautiful belief for me, and it brings me a lot of joy. So it's something that brings a lot of fulfillment and happiness to my life. And they're very powerful and effective tools, really helping us to look into things that we might be uncomfortable looking at, but it's important for us to do it. So I think at the end of this year, I will be doing an all-time favorites list, and you guys know some of the decks that will be on there. But there are a few that might surprise you that have become real favorites for me that I wasn't expecting to love as much as I have. So that was one question that I did want to answer, because someone asked me that a few weeks ago, and I know it's been some time since that question was posed to me. I've had actually quite a few questions recently about, and this goes along with the Living Authentically portion of the channel, I guess we could say. But I've had a lot of people ask about fear and how to not let fear hold you back from living publicly the life that you feel called to live. And we could say that this applies spiritually, but it can also apply in every aspect of your life across the board. You know, physically, romantically, emotionally, spiritually, however you want to look at it, this can apply. Because living authentically applies to all of those areas. So I've been asked by quite a few people over the last few weeks how to not let that fear hold you back. And what I can say to you from my experience, and this is something that we all sit with and are growing with every day, living authentically, especially if we struggle with this aspect, if this has been a theme or a pattern for us in our life, there are many times where we'll step back into a pattern that's not healthy for us and that doesn't align with living authentically, but that feels really safe and comfortable because we've done it our whole lives. So I would say to you that what has been the most powerful for me, first of all, to go back to the beginning when you start on this journey, not editing your internal landscape and the experiences that you're having internally and in the realms within. So it's very important to really allow free reign of the imagination, your experiences through meditation, through journey work, through any of the aspects that you're exploring. Tarot, if you found this channel, you're probably working with tarot or oracle decks. Anything that feels really good for you, do not edit yourself when you start on this journey. And I think it really starts within like that. No holds barred within, no holding back. Give yourself free reign to go where you're going to go spiritually. And allow yourself to explore that. Don't stop yourself from having that experience and exploring that. It's so, so important. After that, I would say, when you feel ready to, and you really have to feel the calling within, you will know, because it will feel like, I cannot do this anymore. When you feel that, to the degree that you are moved beyond the fear, with the fear, to embrace living authentically, that is when you have to simply look the fear in the face and say, I understand that I'm scared. I understand that you're scared. And I understand that this is coming from a space of you wanting to protect me. And again, here we're really talking to the ego, or the part of the self that's the survivor, that's gotten us through so many years of hiding, from a perceived sense of safety through the hiding. And just really saying, honoring the fear, thanking the fear, thank you for the role that you're trying to provide for me. Thank you for trying to help me to survive. But I'm ready to shift this. I honor you, and we're going to do this anyhow. And that's been very powerful for me over the years, is not ignoring the fear or trying to beat up the fear or denying the fear, but really just honoring it and thanking it for the role it's trying to fulfill for you. And honoring it and saying, okay, and we're going to do this anyhow. And then really being honest and clear about who you are. And so if that means that you want to share posts on Facebook that are pagan themed, or follow spiritual beliefs that you are embracing in your heart of hearts, or if you want to walk down the street and hold the hand of your lover, whatever sex they are, or if you want to take a stand and say that you disagree with the beliefs, the judgments, the standards that are being set around you by the people in your life, and instead are choosing to follow your own code or your own experiences and set of beliefs, and stay true to that. This has been key for me, is to honor the fear, and love the fear, but not let it hold you back anymore. It's along for the ride, but you're in the driver's seat. And you're going to do it anyhow. And then from that space, baby steps have really been the most important thing for me. I would say baby steps, well, there was one big step for me, leaving the religion that I was raised in. Which was a very important part of the journey for me, and I chose to have that experience for a reason. But after that, it was very much baby steps. So in my workplace, which this was before Made on Earth, I didn't come out and say, I'm pagan or I'm a witch or this is what I believe, when people would have other conversations. But I might maybe throw a little something in the conversation about focus or thought or a sense of connection or things like that, and just kind of very gently starting to say things or to share things, or ending an email conversation with blessed be or something like that. And just kind of those baby steps can assist you in being able to live your path in the public eye, so to speak. And so those baby steps are important. And then when you're ready to, you take that giant leap. And then it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think. And that's not being mean to people. It's just, this is me. And so, and I'm now at the point in my spirituality where I don't need to tell people what I practice and what feels authentic and really, really good for me in my bones about my spiritual practice. But I am happy to share when people ask questions. And once you identify yourself as a part of or following a specific spiritual path, or a path that follows similarly along the lines of a different path, which might be pagan as opposed to a typical Christian path or something like that, people are going to ask you questions. And at times they can be quite intrusive too. And so part of that living authentically is knowing and being able to say no when you don't want to talk about something. But when you feel comfortable and it feels good to share, then you can share in a way that's not like, hey, look at me, it's really important that you know this about me, but more a space that comes authentically and from the heart of your own personal experience of what your perhaps spirituality is, or way of doing things is, or how you feel about card work, or how you feel about psychic work, or how you feel about fairies and ghosts and demons, etc., etc. People will be mystified and intrigued by you. And that is okay. Again, when it feels right to open up about that. But you will get comfortable in your own skin with this as time goes by. And I have found that not making a huge deal, not needing to make like a big epic drama out of my personal beliefs or my path, but instead just feeling comfortable and expressing myself clearly when I feel called to is important. And I work in my path as a healer through Reiki and Tarot with people of many, many faiths. And all of those people don't need to know that I'm pagan or that I identify as a solitary witch. But when things come up, I am always more than happy to talk about the elements, to talk about what it's like to interact with them, what it's like to interact with other dimensional beings, and what it's like to understand the empowerment that you can experience when you realize that you've chosen this life and this set of experiences and lessons, and that you are in charge of how you navigate your experience and how you step into your power and how you become and are present to every moment. So there is a beauty that comes with this path once you really let it sink in fully. And part of that is being able to be upfront and honest and vocal about your beliefs and your experiences. So this is an important part of the journey. So those of you who are sitting with, how do I kind of step out of this box that I've been in and be really open about the beauty of my path? How do I do it? And so I would say to you, honor your fear, look it square in the face, love it to death, bring it along with you for the ride, and just go ahead and start doing it. Start sharing when you feel called to. Share that witchy picture online, or talk to someone about the different Sabbats. Don't feel like you can't say what celebrating Yule means like to you when someone's talking about Christmas, if you want to, if you feel called to. Not in a showing off way, but just, this is what I honor. This is what I honor on this day, and this is what it means to me, and this is the powerful spiritual experience that this Sabbath brings to me. Just like for you, this is the birth of Christ. So that is very empowering and an important part of the process. And of course, the beauty of that is that as you do that, you find other people who, even if they don't share the same beliefs as you, will respect you and be super excited and intrigued to have a conversation with you. And then you develop friendships with people. And because it starts out from this honest space and this powerful, authentic space, you can have really, really wonderful relationships with people who are not pagan, or who don't identify as a witch, or who don't identify as Buddhist, or whatever it may be that you're following for your spiritual path, your own eclectic path. And so that has been what's helped me the most over the years. And now it's a really beautiful space to feel so comfortable in my own skin, but I do remember what it was like at the beginning to be overwhelmed with this love and this bliss of this spirituality that I finally found it, finally stepped into it. You know, this thing that felt like home to me and was this clarion call through years and years of pain. To finally step into it, it was like I wanted to shout it from the rooftops. I wanted everybody to know about it. And I wanted everyone to have that experience. And now it's much calmer, and it's about honoring each person's individual experience for me on my path, but still so joyful when I can share things with other people about that have been intrinsic to my path spiritually. So I hope that gives all of you some clarity, those of you who have asked about how do I let go of that fear of being myself and stepping out there and being really open and upfront and not hiding who I am. Just honor your fear and go ahead and do it anyhow. And once you step into that, which is its own step, then take baby steps or take a giant leap of faith. That part's up to you, what you feel called to do. But baby steps work just as well as a giant leap of faith sometimes. So sit with what feels better for you as far as that goes. Okay, I've been talking for a really long time. And they're still drumming. So let's talk about deck challenge. So tonight's Wednesday night, so you can choose to start this midweek, or if you want to, you can start this on Sunday night, this upcoming Sunday. So whenever you watch this video, you can feel free to start immediately or to start this at the beginning of the next week. So we are going to be working with a different deck each week for 5 weeks. And that the deck choice is completely up to you. I will never tell someone what deck they need to work with. I will only choose a deck for you if you choose to have a reading with me. So, for the week, you will be working with that one deck, and that will be the only deck that you work with. Unless, of course, if you're doing readings for other people and you like to intuitively choose or draw decks for them, then, of course, that is separate from this challenge. But for any personal work, you will be using this one deck, and you'll be spending a lot of time with this deck as well. So for this first week, you can choose the deck that you want to work with. For this week, I would say, because it's the beginning, let's choose a deck to work with that we really love, that feels really, really good for us, and like a super juicy deck to work with that we just love, love, love. And so for me, I will be working with the Fallen Angels Oracle because I am just... that deck, it just gets better every year. So we're going to choose a deck that we just absolutely adore and love to work with for our first week. For this challenge, every day I'm going to encourage you to do a daily draw. So this week, at least 5 out of 7 days, try to do a daily draw, either in the morning, maybe at a lunch break, or right before you go to bed. But either way, try to make it consistently around that same time every day. And allow yourself with that daily draw, pause for reflection, whether that involves journal work or a brief meditative time. But give yourself some space, excuse me, to sit with the card and sit with what the meaning is for you. So this week, I'm going to encourage you to, if you want to use your guidebook, go ahead and read your guidebook meaning for your daily draws. But also sit with the deck and look at what meanings are coming up for you intuitively for yourself that day. And then give yourself time to let that sink in. So give yourself a few minutes with that so that you can actually watch throughout the day where the card is showing up to assist you through experiences throughout your day. And where that message has come in and helped you when you've been able to be present enough to your situation to tap back into that connection. So we're going to be doing daily draws every day this week. Hold on, because I'm thinking of something. Something's coming. Okay. We're also going to be doing 2 days this week with our 2 days this week with our deck of choice. And remember, this is a deck that we really love and feel very drawn to do a spread that lets us know what is at the heart of the matter for us at this time. I would encourage you to actually create this spread yourself and not use a spread that someone else has written and created themselves. I'm not saying those aren't wonderful, but this week let's actually create a spread for ourselves or intuitively work with the energy of a spread that really gets to the heart of the matter for us. So, what does that look like for you? What does the heart of the matter mean for you when you hear that term? So this could be uncovering how you really feel about a certain situation in your life, or uncovering why you keep repeating a pattern over and over and over again in your experience. But we're really going to be looking at the heart of the matter in this spread. So getting down to core beliefs, to core experiences, and uncovering what is inside of that. So what is it within us that we don't feel that we have, that we need to keep reaching out? And from that spread, then later on in the week, so this isn't going to be two spreads, but it's going to be one spread spread out. Okay, so we're going to do this spread. We'll do this spread one night. So if you're starting this journey tomorrow morning, which is Thursday, let's say Saturday you do your spread, then give yourself maybe Sunday and Monday, and then on Tuesday you'll sit down and you're going to meditate with the cards in this spread and really keep uncovering what's underneath, what the hurt is and the emptiness underneath the experiences. And in this meditation, you will work with these cards to actually love and heal and bring into balance that part of the self. So it doesn't mean that you're going to never have this problem again after this meditation, but you're going to work at healing this core pain and offering and sending and experiencing and being uplifted by this feeling of love that this spread has helped you to get down to the bottom of. This can be as detailed as you want it to be, both the spread and the meditation, or it can be as simple as it needs to be. So don't don't feel stressed by this experience, but allow this to be really meaningful for you. So let the spread, even if it's just a 3-card spread, really go deep with this. So while you're doing the spread itself, lots of journal work might be really good, or talking and then listening to yourself speaking can be very helpful as well if you're not someone who finds writing to be key for you in your spiritual work. But really allow this to uncover. Let the layers peel back. What is the heart of the matter? And choose a situation or an experience in your life where you can get to the heart of the matter with it. To peel back these layers of, okay, why am I choosing to do this again and again? Or, what can I celebrate about this pain that I've felt? And then 2 to 3 days later, you will do a meditation with the cards from this spread that allows you to offer love and healing from the heart to the heart of the matter. So allowing the heart to heal in regards to this situation. And the beauty of doing this first week with the deck that we love is that this deck is really going to just love to assist us and be part of this healing process for us. So this first week, we're really looking at doing healing work for ourselves with this deck. So this is going to be a busy week. So you're going to do daily draws every day, preferably 7, but at least 5 days this week. Then you will do your own spread, creating and then reading your own spread on the heart of the matter for you, related to whatever aspect of your life you'd like to offer some healing to. Then 2 to 3 nights later, you will do a meditation with the cards in this spread that allows you to offer yourself healing in respect to this situation, to the heart of the matter. You do not need to know how to offer yourself healing before that meditation. Enter into it with love and trust and the energy of any guides or angels that you work with, and allow that to provide the keys and the direction to the healing work. This can feel kind of scary if you haven't done this before, but I can assure you from personal experience that it's the most powerful when it truly comes from you and it's not just following directions from someone else, even though that has its place. So I'm not saying that's not important, but for this aspect of the healing work, this is really taking the reins of our own healing and experiencing that we can truly heal ourselves. So this is going to be a very powerful week. I will encourage you to journal or record your experiences throughout the week, especially with your spread and the meditation that follows it, and to really allow this to be a week of connecting with a deck that you truly love at an even deeper level. It's like taking it to the next level. And we're going to be doing that in an experience of love and I can't think of the word right now. It's not necessarily protection, even though that's there too, but of being just held lovingly by the energies of the deck that we love so dearly. And these energies really, really working to assist us with our work. So that is going to be our schedule for this first week of our monthly deck challenge. So go ahead and sit with, tonight, the deck that you want to work with for a whole week, the one that just gives you the most yummiest feelings. It can be provoking at times, sure, but it's one that you truly, truly love. And we will get to work tomorrow morning, or you can start this following week working with the heart of the matter the first week in our deck challenge. Oh my gosh, guys, thank you for sitting with me for 35 minutes tonight. It's been such joy to have the time to do a video again, and to be able to talk to you guys about some really exciting, beautiful things. So please let me know what questions come up for you all. If anybody wants me to talk about anything, or talk about a certain deck, or talk about my experiences with working with certain decks, or just questions that come up in relation to certain decks, I will be happy to answer as many questions as I can, and to do as many of those questions in video format for you all as well. So I'm sending you all so much love, so many blessings. Happy monthly deck challenge, guys, and I will see you in the next video.